Great to see you.
Good to
You
see you,
too.
sir.
Infinite wisdom. Love it.
Fantastic. So, how's your day been going so far? Your week?
Awesome. I literally just got off a podcast type interview. I'm starting to do some more shows and get out through that type of
Mhm.
vehicle. So loving that. Yeah, and we're gearing up. Next week, I'm at Funnel Hacking Live in Orlando, and then the week after is our charity
Yeah.
fundraiser. So
Mhm.
lots of
Right.
exciting stuff going on.
Yeah, and that's why we wanted to get you on right away so we can get use this to get you some more exposure for the fundraiser. And we'll put this video this interview out as a whole, and then maybe chop it up a little bit too, and put it out as some shorts and some reels and things like that too, and just to kind of create some more buzz for the whole program.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds win-win.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we'll pre-record the intro later, so you're I know how much time do you have?
That's a good question. Let me look here. I don't think I have anything until 2.
Okay.
So an hour if we need it. That's a long time.
Well, let's just see how much of that we can get out of you. So that'll be great. So obviously you want to introduce you. This is Greig Wells. He's from Love Thy Neighbor Marketing, and he's also the developer of the virtual dinner party. So I got a lot of questions just off of just that intro there. Is that why did you come up with Love Thy Neighbor Marketing? Where did that come from? It's a
Yeah,
very unique name.
it is. Yeah. One of the things that I've always believed in is that you are not defined by what you do, but rather how you do it. And so I feel a lot of people, including myself back in the day, we did certain things in marketing that like that's what everybody does. And you have to do that or you won't get clients. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I even started buying into the mentality that, like, hey, if you believe what you're selling, then you're justified doing anything. And they weren't super bad things, but they were things like telling people my course was almost sold out when it's a course, right? And that's pretty much impossible. Those are like the marketing tricks that I
Right.
feel people often are looking to learn and think you have to do it. If you don't do it, it'll cost you money. And so what I really stand for is that you don't have to do it that way. And that you can love thy neighbor through your marketing, that you can care for people, that you can want to
Mhm.
serve people, that you can love, and that if you really do that, it will even pay off more than doing it the other way. You shouldn't have to make a hard choice between succeeding in business and keeping your integrity as to the life you live at home with your kids and your family. You shouldn't
Right.
have to go into business mode and then go into living mode. That's what Love Thy Neighbor marketing
Oh,
stands for.
that's a really cool
That's
point.
awesome. And I think that's a big part of what attracted us to you and the stuff you
Yeah.
do. And for those that are listening and watching, the Greg's the inspiration for our virtual roundtable. And so he's one of our coaches and supports us with that. And I think that that's also in alignment with a movement that Ross and I have been talking about for a while now, and we're seeing a lot more and more people do it, is this collaborative community effort of everybody coming in, and instead of competitive based, it's collaboration based. And so when did that shift happen for you?
Yeah, so I've always really had an abundance mindset, and that there's plenty to go around for everyone. I don't know that that was necessarily a shift for me. For me, it goes back to playing team sports. I was always, if our team won, like I didn't need to be the guy that scored. I didn't need to be the guy that was the star. I was just happy with us winning. And that's kind of spilled over into, my life and business, and is having this abundance mindset, this collaborative mindset. And some great examples would be like, so before I started doing this is just the last 3 years, it's been a major pivot for me. I ran a marketing agency that specialized in LinkedIn. And so rather than look at the other LinkedIn people that were out there as my competition, I would look for, well, everyone that's following me likes LinkedIn. What if there's a way for me to, to have you talk about certain parts of LinkedIn that I don't talk about?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of the real keys to making this work, is you need to be very specific and focused on solving just one part of a problem. That's a good business strategy for everyone to begin with, right? To niche down. But it's especially important in the collaborative world. When I meet someone who wants to collaborate, and I'm like, well, what do you teach people? And they're like, I teach everything: how to create your offer, how to get your leads, how to do this and this. I'm like, well, there's no space for me to fit in. Like, you're teaching everything. I can't bring you to my people and have you tell them you're going to teach them everything. But if you're doing just one part of it, if you're helping them on their messaging, or you're helping them on their enrolling, or you're helping them with their DMs, if you're doing just one part of it, you leave the space for me to bring you into my world, and for for you to bring other people into your world, and you can be collaborative.
Yeah, it reminds me of when I was in sales, and even now when I do sales training, where my method was always to create a win-win between the business and the customer. Like, everybody comes away going, wow, that felt really, really good. And because the mindset of people in sales and marketing, to a degree, is, it's this combative, I'm going to get the most from you, or I'm going to come out of this, ahead, and such. And it's just like, well, it just doesn't seem to work these days. And it kind of doesn't feel good at all. And I've had lots of people say, that doesn't work and it's not going to be. And I'm like, listen, I've been very successful doing this and training this with people. And says, this is what people are looking for now. You're living in the 60s and the 70s. All of that is over. It really is. And people are far more wiser these days. And they understand that, listen, if I can't make it work with you, I can always go to the internet, or I can always go down the street to Joe Bob's store, or whatever the case may be. And again, what Gary said is, this is partly what Attractor does to you as well. It's just like this. I told him after our first meeting, and we finished, and I says, this just feels good. So this process just feels really, really good. And still, when we are talking to our clientele about this process, they're always like, what's the catch? What's the catch? What's the catch? I don't believe you. This is a bait and switch. And you're just like, nope, sorry. I said, it really, really isn't, and I can prove it to you. So it's very, very cool. We really, really enjoy the way that you do your work.
Yeah, I mean, you're so right that with social media and everything we do being online on video, transparency and authenticity are becoming what people really value.
Right.
And the great part of that is, you can just be yourself. Like, you don't have to try to pretend to be perfect. And if you do that, it'll backfire on you. And
right.
So just putting yourself out there, your real self, and is the most appealing, most attractive character you can be in today's marketing. Now, and the problem, one of the problems we solve through our virtual dinner party events, is that everyone online says they care. They all say, I care about you. And it's kind of like, I was just at an event. There were thousands of people there in the virtual event, right? Probably a couple thousand people. And the speaker gave this great talk. And at the end, she said, I believe in you. You guys can do it. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, lady, you don't know who I am. You're talking to 2,000 people here. Who are you to say I believe in this? You just believe in everybody? If you do, that's like saying I love you to everybody. I love you doesn't mean something if you say it to every single person, right? And so so how do you show you care? And that's one of the things we do in these virtual dinner party events. It's a lot of work to pull off a virtual dinner party, to invite people, to bring them here. And then when you're not selling anything, which is one of our core principles, is there's no pitch. People can feel that you care. They can see you care. You show them you care. You don't just say it, because if you just say it, people don't know if you're like that lady who's saying it to everybody, or if they don't know anymore. They can't trust your words. But if they can see it and feel it and experience it, wow, you, Ross and Gary, you guys really do care. I can tell by this event. Now you are beginning to build a real relationship.
Right. And that's the key. That's the key, is to kind of dig through all that dirt, find those nuggets of gold, and just more and more of them start to pop up as they're seeing whether it be the testimonials or snippets from the events, are going, oh yeah, this isn't that that other stuff that I'm so used to seeing. And it's just like, maybe I will give this a try. And there's no risk obviously and such, but it's just like, this really feels good. When the last party that we just completed, people raved about it. They're just like, I have never experienced something like this. This is so cool. I want to be on more and more and more. And we're just like, yeah, it's just really, really fun. And people are coming away with some really good solutions to, whether it be personal problems, business problems, whatever the case may be, whatever they bring to the table, we can bring the solutions to it. So it's been really, really good. It's been phenomenal.
Yeah, so that and that's the community. I think that comes from the community building component of what
Yes.
the virtual dinner party or the roundtable brings. And I think that leans into the evolution of what we see you doing, because we feel that you pivot really well with what's going on, both in the world as well as in the business and marketing world. And which is really what we want to put some attention on today, and really kind of encourage and inspire people to be a part of, which is the fundraiser that we're launching for Hawaii's wildfire victims. Can you tell us about the inspiration behind the idea of using the virtual dinner party and your background and your connections and your community for that type of an event?
Yeah, for sure. It's something I'm really excited about. I think it might be something that's very appealing to your listeners. And so, we run a challenge, and we run workshops, free and paid, right? When people pay, they tend to show up more and pay attention more. So we've been moving in this direction of doing paid events. And not because, if people pay $97 or $27 to come, not because we are going to make money on the front end, right? But because when they pay, they for sure show up and pay attention and play all out. So we've been moving, and this is a trend that's happening more and more. Smart webinars are moving to a paid version. And so, but I started thinking, like, what if we gave all of that money to a cause? And I'm not the only person that's doing this. Ryan Levesque, who's big in marketing, has been doing this with a lot of his events. It was an idea I saw. Everybody's idea is an idea, you see somewhere else, and you just kind of build on it. And so that's what we're launching coming up. It's October 4th through the 6th. I have run a very successful Get Clients Challenge. We're calling it the Get Clients Boot Camp this time. But in this case, it's all going to a charity. And the early bird pricing is $20. As we get closer, the price will go up to $47. All of the proceeds are going to the cause. And the cause that I've picked to get behind is the Hawaii fire victims. There's really two main reasons that I chose this. And number one is that I feel like things happen, like this was in our news when it happened and everybody was all about it, and then people forget about it. And they kind of, but left behind are these people's lives that have been impacted that they're still trying to put back together. A lot of times causes get forgotten. That's one of the reasons I want to keep the buzz going about this, but also it's something, that happened right here in the US. And there was a video that really touched me. It was two teenage boys and their mom in the water escaping the fire, and just were filming it in their phone, that they had to literally jump in the water as their home burned and watch their home burn. And I was so touched that in the video, the teenage boy says, "Hey, we wouldn't have gotten through this if we didn't do it together." And that really hit me because that's the theme of our events and our communities that I build and that I teach people to build, is that we won't get through this if we're not doing it together. If you're an online entrepreneur out there and you're trying to do this on your own, you're not going to make it. I'm sorry if that's being real for you, but it's hard. And it doesn't get any easier as you start to succeed and grow. And you can have, your family, you can have, I have a great men's group at my church, but they don't get our world. You need people in your world that you can talk to, that can encourage you. It goes back to that, that influencer saying, "I believe in you" from the stage. When your wife says, "I believe in you," she loves you. She believes in you, the person, no matter what you do. That's not the same. That doesn't hold me together the way it does when I hear from you guys in one of our virtual dinner parties, or my other peers and friends and clients. And as I get to know the people in my community, and I tell you, you can do this, right? I'll hear and it can be things as simple as people saying, "I don't like the way I look on video." When they hear me say, "I don't like the way I look either," a lot of times I have to put on my reading glasses in order to be able to see people's names on Zooms. And I hate the way these reading glasses look. I hate the reflection, but you know what? I got over it, and I have a successful 7-figure business now. When I share that type of insight with someone in our virtual dinner party, that's what really makes a difference for that person to just get over that, because that's someone that's been there before, telling you they believe in you and you can do it, and encouraging you. And that's the kind of community and bonding. That's what happens in a virtual dinner party. It's less about the tips. You do get ideas and tips, but as entrepreneurs, we have millions of ideas. It's about getting that encouragement, and empathy is what makes these events such a great experience.
Well, that's and that's so prevalent in life today, where people are so separated. Prior to the advent of the internet, to the extent where it is now, they were already talking about where society, people are cocooning. They're coming home from work, opening up the garage door, pulling in, and you don't see them again until they open up the garage door and pull out in the morning. And people aren't getting out and just talking to their neighbors, literally their physical neighbors next door or across the street. And then with the advent of the internet and where it's gone thus far, that's become even worse. And we're seeing that definitely with our younger generations. And I was seeing this video a couple of days ago about somebody who is developing a new style of cell phone, but it's not something you hold in your hand. It's actually something that just attaches to your clothes. It's really interesting. And then the screen, you literally put your hand up and the screen projects on your hand. And their whole premise, though, of this, I'm like, okay, that's all fancy and such like that. But their whole premise is that people are so disconnected now. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to take that barrier of the phone away. And I'm like, that's actually a better idea than I thought it was turning into, but technology that is even going to that point where I mean, it started to kind of go the other direction when the metaverse was first announced, and everybody's like, "No, I don't want to be isolated even more." And so there was a big pushback on that because people are now kind of coming to that point where like, "No, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of just being in front of a screen. I want something different. I want, if anything, I want interaction instead of, as Gary and I both say, we don't want to just be talking heads."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, isolation, which really is a nice way of saying loneliness, is at an epidemic level. I mean, the Surgeon General has talked about we need legislation for this. And Forbes magazine and Wall Street Journal have articles about how, especially in entrepreneurship, isolation and loneliness is an epidemic level. And the solution, technology, like you're saying, there's lots of ways to kind of come at this. Technology has caused a lot of these problems. What we're doing with these virtual dinner parties is we're bringing leadership to this space of connecting people, and we're facilitating the conversations. And this is especially empowering for introverts. Introverts love coming to our virtual dinner party events because even the most introverted person craves humanity. It's human to want to connect and talk to people, right? I consider myself a natural introvert. In my definition, I use church as kind of my standard. An extrovert at church will just walk up to you and introduce themselves. I would never do that. That is way like I would never just walk up to someone and introduce myself. And I way out of that's how I know I'm an introvert. And but at church, once a month at my church, the pastor from the stage will say, hey, why doesn't everyone shake hands with the person next to you and introduce yourself? And I love that. In fact, I tell them every chance I get, why don't you guys do that every week? In fact, why don't you take it a step further? Instead of just introducing ourselves, why don't you instruct us to exchange numbers? Or why don't you instruct us to share something about our lives? Why don't you facilitate the conversation with your leadership? And that's what we're doing in these virtual dinner party events, is we're facilitating the conversation. We're doing more than just saying hi, telling people to say hi, but we're giving people topics and conversations that they can talk about so they can jump right into the conversation. And so it's really accelerating relationship building. Just meeting somebody, even on Zoom, like your guard's going to be up. You're going to talk about surface level stuff at the beginning until you see if you can trust someone. The virtual dinner party breaks through all of that.
Right. Very quickly.
It is we're not selling, so that empowers us to break through all that. But part of it is just the leadership in, hey, this is what we're doing now. I'm kind of bringing everyone to that level. So that's how we're trying to combat this isolation that is just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So I want to go back to the event that's coming up, and can you tell us a little bit more about that? What's the structure of it? Like what people can expect, and why they should do it, and even like where's the money? Like where's that money? Because it's all going to the charity. Where's it going to? Just 'cause I think those are questions people will have if they want to jump on to participate in that. Who would be the ideal person to come and experience the whole event? Because there's a lot of really cool stuff happening. I think people need to know.
Yeah, great question. I'm glad to get back talking about our fundraiser event. So it's called the Get Clients Boot Camp. So this is for coaches, service providers, anyone who's in a relationship-based business would benefit from experiencing this event. Now, it's a 3-day event. And the first day is a virtual dinner party event. So we'll all get to meet each other. We'll be connecting and bonding. And really in the virtual dinner party, you also get clarity about what is it that I need to work on to get to the next level in my business. So then day 2 is going to be a training that I'll be leading on how to run these virtual dinner party style events. And then day 3, we're going to have the coaches that are participating in our event sharing their expertise. This is one of the themes of all of my events. Yeah, Ross and Gary will be there as speakers, but it's coaches helping coaches. We all have expertise that we can contribute to the community. So we give everyone a spot on stage. We're expecting we'll probably have about 400 or 500 people. That's what we usually get for our events. I think we're at 150 people right now, and we're still over 10 days away. We're just ramping up, letting people know about it. And so, yeah, you could be one of the speakers. So if someone here would like to participate in this, would like to speak, be a speaker in this, all of those opportunities are going to be there. All of the revenue that comes in from that week is going to go to the GoFundMe for Noah is the kid's name that was in the video. I don't recall his last name, but it'll be a public donation that we'll make to this GoFundMe to a very specific family, the family that really inspired this event through their video and lost their home in all of this. So that's what the cause will be. That's what the format will be, and who this is for. And so what you'll get out of participating in this is you'll be building a community of like-minded coaches and entrepreneurs. The relationships you make by coming to this event will be so valuable. You're also going to gain knowledge and expertise on how to get clients, on how to use these unique style of events, these virtual dinner party events where you're not selling anything and are just so much fun to run. So you'll get knowledge and training on that. And then you also get to be contributing to a cause. Those are the reasons that I think it's a no-brainer to carve out the time. Obviously, time is our most precious commodity, and so investing your time here is helping the cause and helping yourself and helping our community continue to grow and be there better for everyone that's a part of it.
That's
And
fantastic.
for those of you that are watching, just drop in the comments if you're interested in knowing more about it. Just drop in the comment hashtag Hawaii in the comments, and then Ross and I will get back to you with DMs and send you the links to get access to the information and how to register and RSVP, because it is invitation only. You need to RSVP, right?
Yeah, so there's a private Facebook group that's free to join to participate in the event. And then each of the workshops will have different donation levels. So, for example, a general admission ticket is $20 if you want to come to the workshop. We'll have a VIP level that'll in various levels, but all of those are donation basis. To be clear, this is a fundraising event, right? So this is not the place for someone that it just wants to come and take, or just wants to come and be featured. This is a place for you to come contribute to the cause. And we'll also be showcasing kind of behind the scenes of how we do this cause-based marketing. Because one of the things I'm finding is inviting people to an event for a cause is the easiest invitation you can possibly make. People were already planning to do something for the cause, and now they get to learn and come to the cause. There's always different trainings and challenges running the same week as mine. If mine is going to a cause, that's helping people. So this is really something you'll learn about as you experience it and want to consider incorporating into your marketing. How can I use my events and my marketing to be a force for good for the causes that you love? And how rewarding is it to, be able to give back more to the causes that you love, and do even more of that with our business? Because a lot of people talk about causes, but then when it comes time to actually putting their money where their mouth is, suddenly, oh, I already have my causes that I support. So you wanted to come speak at my event. You wanted to come speak here, but you don't want to make a donation. Like you literally wanted to use the cause. Like those are the kind of people I'm happy to identify who they are. And, I don't make any conflicts around it, but that's not the kind of people that you want in your community. And that's another, these models are also so great, virtual dinner parties and this cause events, and screening in the people you really want to be around, people that love people, the people that are contribution focused. Those are your dream clients. People like you guys are dream clients that I get to work with that are attracted to this type of model.
That's
Well,
awesome.
and I really want to throw out too, in lieu of this is that, these people in this area in Hawaii, they need help. They really do. And I don't want to get off onto a conspiracy rant or anything like that, but you know, somewhere above them, the ball is that has been dropped, and they are not getting the help that they need. They're not getting the help they deserve. And we as freaking a race of humans need to step up and say, hey, you need help, and we're going to form a circle around you and give you everything that you need to get yourself back on your feet. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like that
asking
you're
for much.
focused on the one family, because I think if more and more entrepreneurs get on the bandwagon and do different families, then it's like we're
Yeah,
all working, because
exactly.
because
Yeah.
if we have that one person going out there doing and spreading it all over, then it's like everybody gets $10 to go to Starbucks.
Yeah. Yeah, but let's have an exponential effect
Exactly.
Exactly.
there, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
And you're so right, Ross. This is so needed. These are our neighbors. These are people
Yes, they
right
are.
here in our boundary borders, and people that are in need. Let's step
Yeah.
up to love thy neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly. And that's, again, it just goes with how we started the show itself, is that, as you said, love thy neighbor. It's just like this is a whole package. You can't just say, I'm part of love thy neighbor and not love all your neighbors. It has to be all or nothing, and just stepping up and saying, hey, what do you need? And we're
Yeah.
here for it. And
Yeah.
so we love it. We love it. We're on board. We're going to be speakers. We're going to be trainings at the event.
And we're adopting the model for us as well. We're putting together something in the future for us to do that as well. And there's
Exactly.
so many, and it doesn't have to be, I think just for the audience, it doesn't have to be, if you come on, we're not saying, and I think Greg would agree with it. We're not saying come and do this event and then only support the Hawaii. There's so many other things, right? But it's
Right.
using this type of model for getting it out there, and it'd be a win-win-win for everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think most entrepreneurs give back something charitable, but
Mhm.
they make money, and then I come home and
Yeah.
take care of my family, and then I give there, right? I think we don't think about how we can actually utilize our business
Yeah.
to be a force for good, and that's
Yeah.
that's really the transformation that I think all three of us share the vision of, is utilizing our marketing. And how great is it that as you do that, it magnifies your marketing message.
And your
It
business, 100%. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Along
Absolutely.
with going above and beyond with your clients, is giving them, you've given us and helped us more than what we originally contracted for. You're just like, hey, this is what you need, so let's just get this done. And it reminds me of a lot of local businesses that I've come to use quite often, is because the owners had that same mindset. It's like, yes, I'm here to fix this part of your car, but this needed it too, so I just went ahead and fixed it. Or the masseuse that says, you know what, I know you paid for an hour, but you're really knotted up, so let's just go an extra half hour. Don't worry about the price or anything like that. It's just they do it because it's what's right. They do it because they know it needs to be done and such. And then what happens? What ends up happening? You're a customer for life.
Yeah.
You just like that person went above and beyond. That's the kind of person I am. That's the kind of person that I want to promote. That's the kind of person that I want to, help them with their business grow. And I'm going to tell all my, my people, all my friends about them. I mean, it just, it's a little slower growth, but once it hits that exponential hit, then boom, it just explodes. And
Yeah.
and that's what you're all about, and that's why we gravitated towards you. So
Well, and it's so missing in the coaching industry. It's
Yeah.
there in the offline industry, like you point out. They get it. This is their
right,
neighborhood. This is their recurring customers. But in the coaching industry, it's people hyping things up, over promising, under delivering. As soon as you get in, they are looking to bring in more people, and it's just made everyone gun shy, and really given the industry's getting kind of a bad name. And I look at it differently. I look at, I only coached my daughter's soccer team for 1 year back when she was in 5th grade. I was an assistant volunteer coach. I don't really know anything about soccer, but they needed another dad. Well, you know what? Those kids that I coached that 1 year, like, I see them, they've gone to college now. Some of them have careers or businesses. Like, that's a coach should be proud of what he contributed to those people and should stay in touch with them forever. And those kids are not my recurring customers. I'm not doing that because, of anything from them, but other than we built a relationship as I was coaching them that was a joy for me to give to them and to see them grow. I'm proud of them now. Let's bring that into the online coaching industry, that mindset, that approach where I pour into you, and I'm proud of you guys for what you do now and forever. And that's a big shift to the industry. And a lot of my friends in the industry will say things like, well, that's not going to scale, Greg. That sounds really inefficient. Even hosting a virtual dinner party for 2 hours with your people, how do you do that? I couldn't be there for 2 hours. And, it's not about scaling. It's about serving through your business. And I warn those guys, I'm like, are you listening to what you're saying? Like, you don't want to be with your customers. You don't want to listen to your customers. You don't enjoy them. Like that doesn't sound like a fulfilling life to be in. And you're ripe for getting disrupted. Someone's going to come along who cares more about your customers than you do. Right. And you risk losing your business to them if that's your mindset.
Yeah, I found what I've noticed and found in my experiences too is that they become more focused on the machine than the customer. So as you're saying, you can't scale that. It's like that, that doesn't make the machine work. It's like, well, it's not about the machine. It's actually about that person there who's hurting, who has looked at you and said, you are my last hope. I need help. But you're focusing on the machine. Well, and as you said, if you're a coach and you can't plan for 2 hours of your time, you're right. It's not the machine. It's you. Something is amiss. You lost. And it's easy to get caught up in it. It really is. But bring yourself back. Just take a pause. Barry and I talk about it all the time. Take a pause. Step back. Take a look at your life, just like you're supposed to step back and look at your business. Do the same thing. Look at your life. What's going on? Oh, wow. I haven't spent time with my wife or my kids or this. I mean, there was a point in my career where, I had to make a promise to my wife. I says, I will no longer let my work, my career get in the way of any family event or birthdays or weddings or anything like that. I will make the time. And that happened because I was at a family outing and I was just visiting my brother, and a relative came over and looked at me and said, oh, you're here. Who died? And I'm like, what? Like, well, the only time we see you is for a funeral. And it was just like a slap in the face. I'm just like, really? And I really had to do some soul searching. And I stepped back and went, oh my gosh, she's right. And so, I made a change, and I committed to that, and I've held my ground for 2 decades now. And it's just like, this is the way it is. This has to be my priority, and I'm happier, and I'm less stressed, and I'm here I thought I was doing this for them, but no, I was actually doing it for me, and I benefited the most. So
yeah, you love yourself when you love others like that. And
exactly.
It's a great story of how you committed to your family like that. And what we're kind of the next iteration of that is to commit to your clients like that and treat them like family, enjoy being with them, not just show up when it's time to sell something, not just show up.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it's about really getting to know your people. You know, you ask most coaches or marketers, how's your business? And they'll tell you things like their opt-in rate, their click-through rate, their conversion rate.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what about your success rate? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, your renewal rate and the relationships that you're building in all of this. Those are not the numbers or the language and the way we've been taught to have to think about our business and online marketing.
Yeah. When we hear about the successes of our clients, that's our jet fuel. That's our fuel. That just pushes us to go further. It's like, we need to do more of this. I want more people like that coming to me and saying, life is so much better for me now. Thank you.
And it's why we do the live streams. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
one of the things, you know, is that we've been doing the live streams for going on 4 years now, and we're giving like good solid content. And it's not that we've never, well, we've done some promotional stuff in there, but for the majority of the time, we're just giving, and because we feel that it's needed, and you know, it's more important for people to get the info than it is for us to collect a few bucks here and there, right? So yeah, I think that's I think that's what resonates with us. So with a because I've been a part of and had quite a few nonprofit clientele and stuff like that, and when they're doing charity events or fundraising events, they tend to have some kind of a goal in mind. Do you have a goal in mind specific for this event, for like what we want to do for the family?
Yeah, that's a great question. I try not to have expectations with
Sure.
anything that I do because
Yeah.
it can only set a ceiling for where this
Yeah.
can. The truth is,
Oh,
I have
nice. Yeah.
no idea how, you know, I have no idea how this will go. You know, you know, and you can get stuck in your head, right? You know, one of the things that, you know, I think you guys were in our conversation that we had with our community last week about this. And I said, you know, if I tell people they have to pay to speak at this event, how do you think people are going to react to that? Because
Right.
in my head, like, I'm so worried, like, I don't want people to think I'm bait and switching them. I don't want to, you know, I care what people think. And I think with, you know, you should, but this is why you need a community. You need a sounding board, right? We were able to talk through that, and everyone validated, like, no, this is a fundraising event. We have no problem doing that, right? So, and I think it really shows the power of masterminding, the power of virtual dinner party style events, and just having people you can run those ideas off of. Because we all have these doubts, these, you know, whether it's imposter syndrome, whether it's I can't charge this much, whether it's I can't charge for this, and just having other people that are in it, right? It's not the same if, you know, your family member tells you that, but it's having people that can get it and validate that. I'm like, no, we're going full blast with this. This is for a fundraiser. I should have no problem asking people for money for the fundraiser. And it's interesting because I would personally not feel right asking people to pay to speak at my event if I was getting the money. But now that I'm behind the cause, I'm all about it. I'm like, I can really go hard and push for this because it's something that I really
A whole different mindset.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting insight for everyone listening to. You really want to have that in all of your business. And so, you know, the reason I believe so much and will push so hard with what we're doing, not that we're pushy, but it's that not just that I believe this virtual dinner party system works, but that I believe it's love thy neighbor marketing. That I believe when you embrace this, you're on a path now that's going to take you deeper into your faith, deeper into doing things the right way, and that creates this certainty, right? You know, pushing hard is not the right way. I was saying it before, but it just creates this certainty that what I'm doing is something I can speak about. You know, it's beyond me. It's beyond it's beyond me.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
I think
So
make your computer.
Something, my Windows just did something.
oh no. Well, before Windows kicks you
Value.
off, then what message or call to action would you share with our audience to inspire them to contribute to the fund and become and attend this fundraiser event?
Yeah, so again, we'd love to have you, and I would encourage you to come out to the fundraiser event. If you are a coach or service provider that's looking to get clients, wants to learn how to get clients in an authentic way, a non-salesy way, a way where you connect with people, that's the type of stuff that we'll be teaching. That's the type of stuff people are typically investing thousands of dollars to coach with me on, like you guys did. But that's what you're going to learn when you come to this 3-day event. It's October 4th through the 6th. We'll post a link here. It's free to participate in the Facebook group and be a part of this community and meet like-minded people. And then each of the workshops just has small donations. And we'd love to have you contribute and speak at the event as well.
Yeah,
Okay, so
and
we'll
potentially get some exposure and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, absolutely.
right, and we'll put the link to the group in the comments, so you can find that easily. And Greg, is there anywhere you want us to point people directly towards you?
Well, I'm easy to find. It's virtualdinnerparty.com.
Okay.
Fun story how we got that domain name. I'll tell that another day. You know, I had to
Yeah.
somebody this past year, and but I'm glad we have it now. Makes it really easy to find me. That is our trademark and our main website. And when you get there, you can sign up to come to a virtual dinner party. We've got them on all different topics, different themes, different dates to choose from, and we'll make sure to get you the link for the fundraiser event. It's all right on Facebook. We don't have a specific website for that, and that's one of the things in the system and the way I teach coaching and marketing as well, is you don't need a website, you don't need a video sales letter. You can just keep everything simple, keep everything on Facebook and Zoom. That's where you're really building relationships with people. So thanks so much for having me. This has been awesome getting to talk to you guys. And
our pleasure.
Yeah. And you thought we couldn't hit this length of time.
And we didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Gary
That's
asked
awesome.
if you started, he says, do you have a lot of questions? I'm like, not really. I said, Greg's a pretty good talker. I don't think we're going to need a lot of questions. So it worked out great. So this was phenomenal, and we greatly appreciate you taking the time. We know you're a busy man, and we're going to see you at the fundraiser as well. So we are speakers there as well, and we have donated as well. And we hope everybody listening will, in some degree, be a part of this. If not spreading the word, maybe making a small donation so that we can maybe we can start our own momentum of family to family to family. We really love the idea. So
yeah, I love that
for joining us. Thank you, Greg. We greatly appreciate it.
Be well.
Have a great one.
Yeah. So, I'm going to take this time here. I'm going to ask you to just play along here with us just for a little bit. Okay. If possible, and if you're in a place where it's safe to do so, just close your eyes for a few moments and let us take you on an imagination where we transport you to a unique place. Let's say it's a sanctuary where minds converge in conscious collaboration. Imagine that. And we're all headed there together, even though it will be unique to each of us in this space. There's no room for the typical noise of selling, no elevator pitches, and certainly no awkward self-promotion that just turns people off. Okay? Instead, it's a space where authenticity reigns supreme, where pure relationship building and collaboration take center stage. So imagine joining in this space, feeling an immediate sense of warmth and camaraderie. You greet and you're greeted by purpose-driven entrepreneurs and thought leaders from diverse backgrounds, all gathered with a shared intention to connect, to learn, to grow together. And the air just swells with the vibrant energy of possibility and the excitement of collective wisdom.
Okay, so keeping your eyes closed, continue to imagine that As you participate with the intention of service, you become part of engaging and deep conversations. Everyone is actively listening to one another with genuine interest. There are no ulterior motives or hidden agendas. Everyone is focused on understanding, empathizing, and learning from each other. It's a place where vulnerability is celebrated. For it's through vulnerability that true connection is forged. In this space, you are not just a name or a title. You are seen, you're heard, and valued for your unique perspective and contribution that goes beyond your business label. You feel a sense of belonging and empowerment, knowing that your voice matters and that your ideas have the potential to create positive change for those in the meeting with you. By you participating in this virtual environment, we are co-creating a sanctuary of conscious collaboration, where the power of collective minds can be unleashed. It's a departure from the traditional business landscape, where competition often has been valued and often overshadows collaboration. But here, we prioritize collaboration over competition, recognizing that by working together, we can achieve far more by working than working in isolation.
Yeah, and so we are imagining this transformative journey together. And in doing that, we can embrace a place where purpose-driven entrepreneurs and thought leaders converge, where authenticity and relationships are the currency, and where collaboration is the catalyst for remarkable achievements. Just imagine that. Now, go ahead and open your eyes, come back, and let's begin to build this reality together, right here, right now. And before we go into that and go towards that, here's what others are saying about this type of collaborative environment and what their experiences are. Okay. All right, now that you've watched those, here are a few things you need to know to be ready for the virtual roundtable. First thing is that you need to be there right on time or early if possible, because we want to honor everyone's time and start into the experience right away. Because once we get going, there's such a flow of creative interactions and ideas that it's important that we actually head right into the breakout rooms about 5 minutes in, so we don't really waste a lot of time. So to prevent interruptions, we won't be letting anyone in late. And that's a strict rule, a strict boundary we're going to stick by.
Exactly. And second thing is that you need to be camera ready. This is not a sit behind a blank screen experience. There are no spectators. Have pen and paper ready. You have to have your camera on in order to really participate with your partners, in order to build those relationships and those collaborations. Think of this like the blending of a super powerful mastermind with the time and the efficiency of a speed dating service. So you can expect efficient use of your time and a variety of interactions with like-minded entrepreneurs in a no-pressure environment for a powerful bonding experience. So, for example, let's say you had individual meetings with, let's say, 20 people at 30 minutes each. Well, that would take you 10 hours. But instead, if you met those 20 people in 1 2-hour day, you're going to have a relationship and a bond with everyone in the virtual roundtable. So this is such a smart, efficient use of your time when you come to these events.
Absolutely. And the most important rule is that everything we do here is in a safe place.
Absolutely.
You can show up as your authentic self and know that you have a space where you can get real help. This also sets the tone so that you get amazing value from each event. You're going to leave with solid connections, absolutely. Now, let's face it, being an entrepreneur can sometimes be so isolating. Well, it's time for us to change that, right? And when you have a community like this, you're going to want to come back and interact with familiar and new members on a regular basis. So remember that imagining that we had you do a little earlier today in the video? Well, we are going to facilitate that kind of experience for those who show up. All right. Once again, thanks for being here and taking action. As we all know, that's the only way to get things done. Now, let's connect, get empowered, and create an impact. If you have any questions, you can DM either Ross or myself on Facebook, and we look forward to seeing you in our next virtual roundtable.
We'll see you there.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.